everyone. This is Revive the Scene with Ian J. My name is Ernesto.
My name is James.
And we had the pleasure to sit down and talk with our friends from All Oppose. And soon after this video, we're going to be seeing everything else that's going on. But we wanted to tell you a little bit about our experience with them. And I got to tell you, James, such nice, fun, guys. They're such cool people.
Yeah, those dudes were, they're a good punk rock band.
They are.
What I mean? They're like actual punk rockers.
Yeah, no, they are. And not only that, but for them to be able to put the distortion to the side and being able to bring it down to an acoustic setup where they actually had drums, like acoustic drums playing bass and guitars. I mean, it was just really, really nice experience.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. And like I said, I cannot thank them enough to all those guys, Al, PBR, Matt, Marshall and everybody, Nick. So,
Yep.
they did an excellent job. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And in the show, you're going to be seeing and learning a lot about them because they go way back. They go from 10, 12 years before the band, and they really get into the whole details about it. And I think it was a great show, and I think they're definitely going to like it.
Yeah,
So,
I had a good time.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was
kicking. It was kicking.
Yeah, no, and one of the funny things that the guys did is actually the microphones that we were using, we were supposed to have little covers on it, and the covers did not show up.
With the covers.
Yeah, did not show up because we were joking around that the whole the study in China, and the funny thing that actually
they actually are held up in China right now.
Yes, that's the funny thing. It's
that
2 days.
That's
after,
real.
Yeah,
that's real.
2 days after
It's no joke.
the show.
There's no joke, man.
Yeah. I got an email saying, "Hey, the microphone covers are not covering because they didn't clear costumes." And wow, we were joking about it, but I was like, "Holy crap, it's actually really happening!" So yeah, that's behind the scenes of the whole thing. I guess we're pulling down the curtain a little bit on that one. That was pretty fun anecdote on it. But cool. I think listen to the show, go to the shows, listen to their new album. It's really good.
Their album is badass.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's a punk rock album, and it's done well. It's produced well, and mixing was great. Everything about it just makes me want to dance.
Yeah,
makes me want to dance.
Yeah.
Speaking of dancing,
I know we did a little dancing before.
We did some dancing earlier.
Yeah, setting up all the show. We had to get in the mood of All Oppose, and honestly, it just makes me want to grab my leather jacket and just put it on and
and stand at the edge of the pit.
Yeah, just stand and look and go, I like these guys. But anyways, I hope everybody likes it. It's been a lot of fun doing all the shows, and hopefully we can get everybody to listen to it and support these guys. They're amazing people.
Yeah, these guys are super cool.
Yeah, they have some really cool background stories to each one of them, and they put it all on the line every time for you. So hopefully you enjoy as much as we did.
Yeah, hopefully they enjoy it as much as we did.
No, I hope they did too.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, with that said, we have a lot of episodes coming up and a lot of shows and a lot of bands going on. So, yeah, if you have anything you want to tell us about, just remember our email is revivethe.sceneshow@gmail.com. If you want to say anything to us, please let us know, and hope you like it. Later.
Because we still have to do the monthly playlist.
Oh, yes.
The monthly playlist.
Yes, so we're still working on doing our monthly playlist. So if you do have anything that you want us to listen to post out, if you wanted to put it on the show, just send us your material. Send us the links or send us the MP3s or WAV files to the email, and they're going to be fun. Yeah, we're definitely going to put it up.
Yeah, because we will play the shit out of it.
Yes. So
revive the scene, baby.
Alrighty, let's do this. Without further ado,
let's check it out. We had a chance to hang out with these dudes. We're going to go ahead and roll that video now.
Dang. And welcome to Revive the Scene with Ian J. My name is Ernesto.
My name is James.
And we want to thank you all for listening, downloading the show, and don't forget to follow us in all the social media outlets. Share us with all your friends and keep on listening to all the episodes, and thank you for your support. If you would like to be a part of the show or would like your music to be on the monthly playlist, or if you do have any questions, send us an email to revivethesceneshow@gmail.com.
And now, without further ado, we welcome to the show All Opposed.
All opposed.
How goes it?
Doing great. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
Doing excellent. So, all right. So, you guys want to kind of present yourself to the outlets out there, to the world.
I'm Matt Splatt. I play lead guitar.
PBR, play bass.
Nikki Crash. I obviously play the drums.
Bud Horn, unfortunate vocals.
Excellent.
And missing in action.
Oh, and
Lord Dread.
Mysterious.
I just have to stop again. Can you check your mic, make sure it's on?
Leave that in the fucking. Yeah, leave that in.
PBR, for any of you out there who do sign language.
Yeah, I'm PBR. I play bass.
So we got Nick, and then we got Bud, and the mystery All Opposed, not here right now.
Yeah.
Marshall.
The Lord Dread.
Lord Dread.
Dread, all hail.
Awesome. So I got to ask you about that. Like, so obviously you'll have given names, but you also have stage names. Where did all that came from?
On my end, I got this when I was 15. I got into a bunch of accidents back and forth and everything. I became pretty accident prone. So the chick I was dating at the time, her dad started calling me Splat because that was the sound of me hitting the concrete. So Matt Splat became the name I was known all the way up until I was in my 20s when I was working with him on a job site and everything. And then later on, it just became my stage name. I just embodied Splat. So there.
And still does.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. That's good.
PBR was actually it's Pretty Boy Rick. And that was mainly, when we first started out, we had a couple of heftier gentlemen in the band. And since I was the only one who was actually in shape by default.
There you go.
And that kind of carried forward, even though we now have prettier guys in the band.
Mr. Nick, which actually I could not find your nickname. Nickname.
That's because it's relatively new.
Oh, so which one is it?
The Nikki Crash.
Nikki Crash.
Yes, and that's because of Lord Dread, the Mysterious. In the group chat, he's like, "Oh, Nikki Crash." I'm like, "Dude, that's my stage name."
Well, that really came out. I mean, you just did that a couple of days ago for the Really Red tribute, right? That's where that is first time
Maybe.
you used
I don't
it,
remember.
I think.
Yeah.
Could be any time.
It's fairly recently, though. Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool.
And then my name, over the years of different bands that I've been in, I've had different stupid little, like, either self-appointed names or, names that the band members gave me, so on and so forth. The name Budhorn comes from Butthorn, because I call everybody Butthorns, and I didn't want to be found on social media by certain people. and the name, so I was like, oh, well, how could I do this? Budhorn. And the name kind of stuck. So every time we do a booking or if somebody out of state tries to get a hold of us, they're like, hey, Bud, how's it going? So in the scene here in Austin, it's hey, Bud.
There you go.
So, yeah, so it kind of stuck. So now I'm Budhorn.
Good.
And
Okay.
there it is.
I was always partial to I'll Be Damned.
I loved I'll Be Damned too, and Alipose.
Alipose, that was a good one.
Also, but yeah, Budhorn just kind of became the nomenclature.
I don't know. I always liked Poindexter Rodeo Clown.
Yeah,
That's a good one, yeah.
that's a story in itself.
Forgot about
But
that.
yeah, I guess that's for
way
another time.
back into the history to find that video.
That's pretty funny. Well, because the one that I saw, it was I'll Be Damned, and then I heard Butthorn, and I was just like, well, which one is it? Because all the times I've seen you guys play on Kickbutt or other places, like that's what I see. It's like people, hey, it's a Butthorn, and over here and over there, and that's all I hear. And I was like, I'll be damned where that came from. It's like intriguing.
And it's also a trick I learned from Jack Grisham from TSOL. Because back in the 80s, he would always get death threats because TSOL were really violent and so on and so forth. So he would have different names on all the records to keep himself one step ahead of the law and one step ahead of the people who wanted to kill him because they literally wanted to kill him. Wow. So he would go with different names and so on. And by accident, it kind of happened that way with all with the Budhorn name and whatnot.
Yeah, I think I was reading a story that actually NoFX was doing the same thing for a while.
Oh, really?
Anywhere they checked into hotels, anything like that.
Right, yeah.
I mean, the albums always had whatever they were going by, so Fat Mike and so on and so forth. But yeah, hotels, any checks they got, anything like that, were always made out to aliases.
Well, it's like Paul McCartney too. Going under the name like Paul Ramon and stuff.
Yeah,
it's rock and roll lore to have a nickname. Except Splats is like that's been the truest one for the longest time.
Since I was a kid, every musical endeavor I've ever been in is Matt Splat. I think I whispered my name at the last bar we played at because I needed somebody to get me a drink on my tab. So
Yeah, you didn't really whisper it so
Yeah.
much as went, ha.
And he's one of the skaters in the band too. So
Yeah.
that kind of adds that cool.
yeah, when I was
badass,
doing that,
badass.
I was definitely injured quite a bit because of skating. So that's how I got that name. So.
Cool. So do you still skate?
I don't anymore. No, I'm almost 36. Like my body's had it. It's done.
come on.
I can still do some tricks and everything, and I hang out with my kids whenever they want to skate. But if I go to the skate park, I will roll around on the ramp. But I don't skate anymore as much as I used to. I miss it.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I think actually James he built a what is it that you built in?
Quarter pipe.
Yeah.
I miss building
Yeah.
ramps.
Yeah.
I'm a carpenter by trade, so
that's
I
cool.
love building ramps. It's one of my best things I've ever done. Yeah.
Yeah, he built one at the back on his back
I
of
don't
his
skate
house.
anymore, but I still have dreams about it, like
Yeah.
zero gravity's dreams.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I was working
Don't
on
we
my
all?
car yesterday in the garage, and I saw my skateboards hanging there, and I was like, "Oh, I'm working on a car, and I could just be out rolling around right now. It could be much more fun." Yeah.
And I never really worried about it until you were skating that bowl when we were in the Midwest.
Oh yeah, that was a fun bowl. Yeah.
Even I skated that
Yeah.
bowl, and it was.
Yeah.
I'm a street skater anyway, or I used to be anyway, and
it was like
it was so but it was.
It was a weird sperm-shaped bowl. I mean, I hate to
It
say
really
it, but
was.
it had a ditch run that kind of went this way, and then it dropped into a big bowl at the end. So it literally was a bowl with a tail. So it was a sperm bowl.
What, did you also run into all the kids on the scooters and all that shit?
The kids on the scooters
I try
are killing
not
me.
to. I
It
mean,
killed me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I suck enough as it is, dude. I'm trying not to kill these kids, But-
yeah.
Well, it was more that we were day 2 into tour. I'm like, he's going to break his arm and that's it.
Yeah, I got a history of getting really injured right before shows. I think right before we played with Jukebox Romantics years ago.
Oh
The
shit!
knee.
Yeah, I came off the top of a 6-foot ditch and ended up sliding down, blowing out my kneecap, getting in the car with our old drummer Matt, and then driving to Houston and having my knee blow up like the size of a golf ball or a soccer ball, and then like having to get the bar to wrap my leg with ice and everything, and I had to stand still, and that's completely out of my normal. I would rather just be moving around and just like not be injured. But yeah,
that
in
was
the
our
early
first-
days of All Opposed, I was constantly injured.
And that was our first out of town show ever too, if you remember.
Was it first out of
Yeah.
town or first in Houston?
First, both.
okay.
Both.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So,
I just-
were you able to play the show that day? Or?
I was able to play the show
Barely.
reluctantly, and we had 2 more dates with them too. So like we did Houston, then Austin, then went to San Antonio the next day. And by San Antonio, I was like, I got to go to a hospital tomorrow. Like I can't do this anymore. I got to go see a doctor. And they're like, when I get there, they're like, well, we could have done something 3 days ago, but you kind of sat on it, so
Damn it. We're going to have to take the leg.
Yeah, I mean, it's all for the love of music, I guess. It's pretty much
Absolutely,
what
yeah.
we
I
go
would
for,
rather
so.
like go out there, be injured, bleed all over the stage, and get it all out right there.
Yeah, it's funny. And I actually done the same thing. In one of the old bands that we used to play in, I had a knife accident in one of my fingers, and I was playing the drums at the time.
Yeah.
And it was literally, I went to the ER the day before, and then I had like stitches, and we had the show, and it was like blood splitting everywhere. It
Oh,
was just
man.
they was like, "You're okay?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, it was
What
a
band was that?
bloody mess on it.
Jane Doe Eyes. Yeah.
Say again?
Jane Doe Eyes.
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha.
We played Jane Doe Eyes back in the good old Red River Austin punk
Old
scene.
Red
back
River.
then, yeah.
I think we all
Rest
had
in
our-
peace, Red
Headhunters.
River.
I know. There was such a fun times,
Yeah.
like back with the Headhunters.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Red Saints
Headhunters.
I think we
and
all
that.
cut our teeth at Red Eye Fly and Headhunters.
Yeah, exactly.
I did so many Tata Tuesdays with Izzy Cox back in the day and everything with my old band DGF. So, yeah, I miss those days.
I only went to Headhunters once, believe it or not. In
Really?
the 15 years I lived here, yeah.
Man,
So damn, we just once.
as soon as I turned 18,
never-
I was going over there from Stubbs all the time because they had the cigarette machine in the back.
Yes.
And it's the only place to buy cigarettes at a decent price. I haven't running down to the corner at 35. So it was always a cigarette machine when I was young.
That's when.
Well, Al, do you like fake tiki grass and the smell of cat piss?
I kind of miss it sometimes.
Okay, well, that's Headhunters
That was
in a
Headhunters,
nutshell,
yeah.
right
No,
there.
I recall. Yeah.
and vomit on the side.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. So you mentioned DGF. So for those that know, DGF is a structure guerrilla force that
Yes.
you guys played before that. So that was before All Opposed, or was that like something mingled all in between?
Early on, that was before that. That was my first band. I was 27 when I joined them. I had played around in a bunch of like jam bands and everything at parties. But I was friends with a lot of those guys from school, and I got brought in to play guitar. And that was, 2011, I think, whenever I joined them. They had already been playing around for about 2 years. And I played with them for about 4 or 5 years before we finally split up for a while. And then for various reasons. And then, like, from there, we broke up for about 2 years, and during that time, I had started All Opposed right before the end of DGF with Rick and Al and a few other guys. And then I guess Dave had asked us to come back. And he was like, can you guys do a reunion show for Dave Fest 4 or 3 or something like that? And we're like, yeah, we'll see what we can do. So we start talking to everybody, and everybody's down except for our original drummer. And we ended up getting Al in on the drums, and he did great. And our bass player actually went out and got married and couldn't make it to practice.
Oh, wow.
And he moved off to El Paso. So it's like, all right, cool, man. I mean, go have fun, live your life. It's awesome. And I looked over at my girlfriend, Susie, and I was like, hey, baby, you just learned how to play bass. Why don't you step in right here and play bass with us? So from there, that was the new version of DGF. That was Michael Lugo, myself, Joe Pekacic, or Paychick as we call him, Al, and then my girlfriend, Susie Gerardo. And yeah, we did that for about a year and a half, I guess.
About a year and a half,
and then we finally called it quits recently.
And the first time I actually ever laid eyes on this cat was DGF had played a show. Was it during a South by thing?
It's probably, yeah.
It was during a South
by,
yeah.
Third Squirrel Records, Squirrel
Third,
Fest or whatever,
yeah.
something like that, yeah.
In Georgetown, of all places.
Oh, wow.
And I remember I was in the audience, you know what I mean, the small audience that was there, and I had seen these cats, and I asked one of the record stores, what the hell is this? Where are these guys from? And he said Cedar Park. I don't know if it's like, if it's Leander or Cedar Park.
No, everybody else is from Cedar Park. I was from the bastard corner of Leander, which was because it's not technically Leander, it's not Cedar Park, it's not Jonestown or Lago Vista. It's this weird corner of Travis County called Cherry Hollow.
It's the DC
and it's this dirty little meth lab fucking neighborhood.
DC of like Wilco, yeah.
And this is where I grew up. It was a crazy fucking place, but that's where me and Sean came from, the bass player, the original bass player. We both grew up there, and he was the one who brought me in. We lived around the corner from each other. We'd been hanging out since we were 12 or 13. Or he was like 2 years younger than I was. Hell, I took him to go get his first guitar.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
But it was great seeing them, and I had been a fan since then, and now I think it was like early 2012.
Yeah.
So I've actually known this guy longer than I've known my own kid.
Oh,
yeah.
But so when I was asked to take over the drum stool, I was like beyond honored and everything like that, because being a fan as it was, plus I knew everybody and everybody was friends, and I actually knew some of the old members as well, and took it from there, and it was a good, decent year and a half run. Pretty damn good. Couple of new songs that were in the mix, in the works for a little while.
Yeah. We I think we dropped 3 new songs.
About 3 new songs,
in that lineup, the last lineup there was. We were going to do records, but then things just kind of fell apart. We just moved on from there.
Everybody moved on. Yeah.
And All Opposed kept going. The whole
Yes,
time.
absolutely. Yeah. All Opposed has not taken a break. As many member changes as we've had, we've never stopped. Yeah. In the 5 years now?
Since October of 2014.
2014, yeah, that's what I got over here and say established in 2014.
Well, we've taken small hiatuses when we needed to find a drummer.
Yeah, but I mean that's
well, we didn't quit.
Yeah, we didn't make it Facebook official. So
It doesn't count unless it's Facebook.
Yeah, true.
Exactly, it
Or
doesn't
actually,
count.
does Facebook even matter now? Do we need to make it like Instagram official or TikTok official?
Is that what's
I don't know. What are the kids doing these days?
Yeah, I guess that's a new thing. I guess I'm getting too old for those to keep up with these things,
me
man.
too,
It's just,
So I'm super ADD. I just don't think I can get past a TikTok, man. It's just those move too fast for even me.
oh wow, wow. So whenever you needed a drummer, like the last time, that's where Nick came from. So
Absolutely.
how do you guys say? Because I know Nick plays with another band with, remember me the name?
Makeout fight.
Makeout Fight. That's right. I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And because I actually seen you a few times where I played. And then what is it? You say, hey Nick, you play good. Let's do it.
I'll let him tell that story. I would say actually, I was just going to set it up. Say the first time I ever saw Nick, we were actually playing with the Bad Notes. This is many years ago, and he was the drummer then.
Like October. Like we were probably one of the first bands in 14 that you guys ever played with.
Yeah,
Probably.
Exactly.
No, it would have been close to a year later. It was 2015 when we actually started playing live.
Oh no, that's true.
But this would have been like maybe the
That's
third,
what I mean. October of 2015.
the third, or like it was like one of the many less than 10 shows, and he was I would say he was there from the jump. You know what I mean?
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
He was there with the original lineup. You know,
I would
what
say
mean?
him and Angela.
Yeah, true.
Basically, one day I was like, "Hey, I really like this one song you guys play," and then Al was like, "Well, every time we play it, you're gonna sing it." And I'm like, "Okay." So that just became like a thing for a while. But now that I play the drums, I'm like, I really don't want to play that song.
It's like, nah.
It's boring for me to play the drums. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I get that.
It's that whole never meet your heroes thing. I'm
There
fucking
you go.
I'm fucking with you, man.
You become what you hate.
Well, they had asked me to play drums in like
A long time ago.
2016,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of going through this divorce thing, and so I want to, but I can't. And then I got to a point where in my life where I could do it, and then their old drummer Bruce was quitting, and so I just said, hey, I said to Matt actually at Kickbutt, I'm like,
Yeah.
all I gotta say is if you ask me to play the drums, I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah, I think my response is like, definitely, dude. Let me approach the rest of these assholes about it, and we'll go through the motions.
And it ended up being a no-brainer because he was always a bro from the get-go anyway. So it's just it was that natural, like,
That's cool.
yeah, I mean, you're pretty much in the band without actually
Yeah.
having been, he'd been in the band for 3 years
Yeah,
prior to
family.
actually being in the band anyway.
without knowing that he
Pretty
was in
much.
the band. Yeah.
Because he would jump up on stage, like he said, and sing.
Yeah.
I always
Friends
wanted
Zone.
to play drums for them, like because sometimes Rick would be like, Nick, I'm just saying, if it never works. He does this thing.
You're getting called
if it
out,
never
dude.
works out with Al, you should sing. I'm like, no, Rick, I want to play the drums. I'm just saying.
Actually, I
Nick,
said,
we
I said
love
if
you.
Al's going to play drums.
Number
then he
one
would say-
fan. Now you're like, Nick, we love you. You play the drums. I'm like, I know it. Thank you. I know. Dude, the first show he played with me 3 times, dude. 3 times on stage.
yeah.
You're like, beating them skids like they owe him money. Yes.
Did I say it in that cadence?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, just like that.
It was
Just
very Bill
like that.
Cosby.
Yes, you did.
Which made it so great. I mean, I synced it.
I seen it. Pudding Pops? I don't know where we go with this.
But just like Al was saying with DGF, it's an honor to play with All Opposed.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
My girlfriend Jillian, who I'm in Make Out Fight with, she'll be like, well, now you're in a real band. I'm like, Jillian, we are a real band.
Jealousy.
No, it's not jealousy. It's that for some people it's hard for them to, and we all do this, like, it's really easy to be self-deprecating, because you don't want to come across as cocky. So instead, you like try to counterbalance that by being, like I said, self-deprecating. Yeah, self-deprecating. Instead of just being like, okay, well, I know I'm good at this thing, so it's okay for me to just say I'm good at it.
Yeah.
But no, Jillian, she's like joking, She said it so everybody can laugh at it. Yeah. But honestly, sometimes I like playing with Make Out Fight better because I just have to be like Moon Tramp. I don't have to do much. Whereas with All Opposed, I'm like, screw Trump.
And,
I'm gonna play a while a minute.
That's funny. No, and I actually met her a couple of times at the show over there, and she's like super nice about it. So I'm pretty sure she gives you a lot of support on it. 'Cause,
Oh, yes, totally.
She's super sweet. Every time I've seen her,
She's amazing musician
Yeah.
in her own right too. She's got a great voice and is a good guitar player and everything. Yeah, she's a lot of fun to see. So yeah, if you haven't seen Make Out Fight, go check them out.
Yeah, no, they're cool. They're cool. So so that comes to like the new album. You were actually part of the new album. That you
No,
played.
there's nothing that. There's no recording that I'm on the drums, and I'm
Not
like,
current. Well, there
Yeah,
is
well,
one.
there is one. Actually.
I was gonna say like
there's
I saw a video
There's
somewhere.
one song. Oh, there's like videos and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, like in terms of
There's a studio recording that we're working on right now.
We've recorded one song for the Really Red tribute album.
Gotcha.
But in terms of us, like on a full length or an EP, like no.
No, but that's in the works because we are writing new stuff and everything. And hopefully this year we'll be able to get back in and cut another EP and go from there because we're working on at least 3 or 4 new songs at the moment. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because right now you guys have 3 albums, right? You have
Yes.
The Brown Bag, No Class, and A New Clear Life.
Yes.
Which actually I was looking at it like so. No Class. I guess the Brown Bag was a
Early
DIY.
demo.
Yeah, that was a
a
demo
cut.
yeah.
Yeah. So
It was
and then
more-
you added that into
We just
No
wanted to have
Class.
something to put out at
Yeah,
the shows.
and we cut that when we were a 4-piece at that time.
Yep.
Yeah, we had our original drummer Matt. He was playing drums then, and it was just the 3 of us. Johnny Leal had just left the band.
He had just left the
maybe
band,
2
too.
months before, a month
Yeah,
before
yeah.
that. So like a lot of those songs have been rewritten to match one guitar. You know, because I was doing everything alone at that point. And I did that for about 6 months until
About
we
6
got
months. It was
Zach.
a good show.
Yeah, until we got Zach from Shitty Advice.
And as a matter of fact, that show that we had talked about, that first Houston show where he had fucked himself up and what have you, that was not only our first out of town show and first Houston show, but it was actually the somewhat release.
Gotcha.
Date.
Yeah, it was a soft
Yeah,
release
that
of
was
it.
the soft release. That was the physical release of that EP or demo, whatever hell we were calling it. So, yeah, it kind of all snowballed in. October of 2015 was a very productive month, I should say.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, because I heard, I was listening to the Brown Bag, and then I started listening to Knuckles, and I was like, wait a minute, this sounds like the same songs. And then I started listening. I was just like, oh shit, there's some
Well, I mean,
songs.
there's more songs on
But
Glass.
yeah, no, but also like you can tell that not only like you guys evolutionized like the sound, you actually made it better because you can hear the song being obviously the same song, the same lyric, the same notes, but you can actually hear like play better, and we were like more confident. You can actually hear the notes and like everything's going out pretty good. So,
Right. Yeah.
So,
and we had Zach from Shitty. Zach was still playing with us whenever we recorded No Class.
Yeah.
And he wrote a lot of those guitar parts. He helped me write a bunch of those songs and everything that ended up on there. So that came a long way because Zach is a super competent player, and he pushed me to write and play much more aggressively and much more technically advanced than I had before, because I was very used to the DGF sound. Whenever we did the Brown Bag, I had been playing a DGF for years, and that was a very stripped down, raw rock and roll, just get drunk and do drugs and have fun kind of band. And then when we started All Opposed, it was starting to get more and more technically advanced as we went further, because I definitely wanted to go that route, and we started pushing each other. Zach wanted to do that, and No Class. And then by the time we got to Nuclear, like Marshall was definitely much more technically advanced than I had ever worked with before, and he definitely pushed me to go even harder, and all of us. I mean, whenever he wrote, what was it?
Plurality.
Plurality, yeah. Plurality is a great
and,
fucking riff that he wrote.
Well, we got a lot more focused.
Yeah.
When you have a musician that actually, he kind of lit a fire under my ass, and I tell him that all the time. But it was needed. Mm-hmm. It was needed. There was a little. I don't want to say a riff, but there was a little thing we were all kind of feeling down in the doldrums or what have you. But
the stagnation of
stagnation,
being in a band with four other girlfriends is the way you look at it. You know what I mean?
Pretty
it
much.
gets kind of old
Pretty
sometimes,
much.
you know.
Well, Marshall came along with these new riffs, and it kind of lit a fire under us to kind of get better, get a little more focused, and quit bullshitting around and what have you.
Well, I think part of it too is every drummer, because Nick would be drummer 4, drummer 5, 4.
3.
Well, no, 2 times Kelly,
Me.
Bruce. Okay, we'll kind of count.
Okay, he'd be 4 then.
Okay, 4. Anyway,
4. Yeah.
But every drummer, obviously, they have their own sound and their own way to push the sound. The only way they're going to play it. So the way Bruce was playing was significantly different than the way Matt was playing, and Nick obviously is different from the other 2. So each one kind of brings it. And I think it was the combination, I would say, of Nick and Marshall really kind of bringing it maybe a little bit more aggressive. As we've been playing, I mean, obviously the EP was Bruce, but since then,
Yeah, and Bruce was a god on drums too. I mean, he found a pocket and he sat in there, and he was really technically sound at what he was doing. We loved what he was doing, especially on that record. But yeah, once Nick came in, it definitely changed everything and became a much more mean, angry kind of a band. And I love that, because there are times where I just want to be extremely cathartic on stage and go crazy, and this lineup allows me to do that, you know?
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are all badasses.
Thank you, man. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's true because when we see you on stage, you can tell, you can definitely see the energy. Like it's not like you're sitting around going like, okay, well, I'm just gonna sit here and look at my guitar and my notes. I mean, you can feel the passion on like the notes, on the hits, and all that. One of the things that's pretty funny. I always think, like when you play and you start looking at everybody, you have like that look in your face. It's kind of like you're having a good time, but at the same time, it's kind of like terrifying. It's awesome. It's
I tried to
awesome.
ride that direct line between pants shitting fear and awesomeness. So.
No, and you do it very well, because every time I see it, I'm like, he's in the zone. I see it. It's pretty cool. No, that's pretty cool. So I got to ask you all about All Opposed karaoke, because I know we were actually
Yeah.
we were actually playing part of that show, and that's kind of what I wanted to ask you, because I guess I wasn't paying attention to what was going on, and then it threw me off when everybody started singing, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" So where did the whole idea of karaoke come from?
I'll let Al field that one.
That originally happened on accident. They had y'all had booked a show, I think.
It was for Candy's birthday.
It was for
Yeah,
Candy's birthday.
birthday.
It was like a backyard party. Yeah. Well, I couldn't make it. I had to go back down home to Corpus for whatever reason. And so I kind of I was like, well, fuck. We were thinking about it and like, why don't we just get people to sing? Because by then we started noticing a lot more people were singing anyway to the songs. So we were like, okay, well, I'll throw it out there and I'll make like a little post saying, hey, I'm going to be gone, but, anybody who needs, who knows the songs, go ahead and get up and sing. And sure enough, a few people were messaging me saying like, hey, do you have the lyrics and blah, 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 blah. So it originally, to answer your question, it started at a backyard party for Candido from Shitty Advice, with people actually jumping on stage, jumping on the mic.
Jumping in the
Jumping
grass.
on stage, yeah. jumping in the dirt.
Running out to the grass.
And taking the thing. And from then on, it kind of snowballed into this whole thing.
It's become a part of our live set now at this point.
Yeah.
Where our crowd, anybody who knows what we do and has seen us before, they want to jump up there and do it. And we absolutely move out of the way, take our microphones, do whatever. Don't touch the guitars, but you can have the mics.
Take
Have
the
fun.
that shit.
Will can have his guitar anytime he wants.
And I love that old,
Will's better than
punk
me.
rock ethos of like, just me, us in the audience are no different. You know what I mean? You would see Minor Threat. You see those old videos of Minor Threat, and Ian's shoving the mic in somebody's face or telling the kid to come up and sing it, and that I love that. Like I was like, damn. Because when I was young going to shows, I was like, man, if I know that song, I'd love more than anything to jump off there and sing it,
Yeah.
So sometimes you give people a chance to do it, and it's just the coolest thing in the world. But the fact that they're even paying attention to the lyrics and the music that you created, there's no better feeling in the world. There's really not.
It seems like some of it's pretty designed for it too. I mean, myself, you guys have woes. I love the woes. You know what I mean? And halfway through it, I feel like I pretty much can sing back up now.
A lot of the early stuff, especially we were designing it to be very poppy and catchy. We wanted to make a lot of earworm kind of stuff. Especially when we went in and recorded No Class, we had Andrew Clary from Fight Plan helping produce it with Daryl from Desilu. They were the ones putting it together, but Andrew definitely pushed us to do a lot more woes, a lot more sing-songy, poppy things that we had been wanting to do, but we had never really experimented too far into it beyond like some like proto version of pop. And then like once me and Zach got the idea of it, like it just kind of snowballed from there. The rest of us kind of grasped onto it and went from there. Yeah, and it became a big part of our writing. So
it makes it easy for people to sing along to, and it's cool to be like, oh, these people know our songs, that's cool. But at the same time, that's why I love TJ from Hans Gruber and the Diehards approach, is just shoving the microphone in people's faces that he knows damn well do not know the words.
They know the words.
And it's just so funny. The look on people's faces like, is this guy for real? I love it.
I just wanted to go back to the Candido party for a second. I know you weren't there. We was talking about the lyrics. I mean,
the lyrics.
I don't know most of the lyrics. I know all the choruses.
I don't even know most of the
There you go.
Al didn't know the lyrics
I don't know the lyrics, and I wrote the damn shit. Yeah.
Like maybe 3 months before that, we were practicing one night, and he said, "I want you to write a ska riff." I went, "Okay," which became what the hell was even the name of that song?
Past Due.
Past Due.
Oh yeah, that was stop.
It was past due. It was supposed to be ska, but I
By
can't play
motherfuckers
ska.
who cannot
Well,
play
whatever.
ska.
It sounds like y'all
I love ska, but
Okay,
I
well,
can't
it
play
started that way, it didn't end that way. Anyway,
it sounded like y'all binge watched King of the Hill.
well, we played that too, but
Grew up on that shit.
that song, there weren't really lyrics to it per se. It was more him just kind of doing the skip loud past due. So Chris, one of our friends, she got up to
Chris Gutnick.
Yeah, Chris Gutnick got up because she had asked Al, well, what are the lyrics? And he literally went like, just say something and then pass due. That's the only important part is when they get to this part of the song, just say pass due.
Yeah.
So she literally wrote it out and posted a picture on her page. It was her lyrics were like pass due, pass due.
It's a bunch of wiggle stuff, and actually that's one of the cool things that I like about All Opposed is that you really connect with like the crowd, and you make them feel at home. And I mean something that I've noticed a lot is like the scene around here seems to be very brotherly. around it. I mean, and I know you have mentioned Fireline. I know you have mentioned Shitty Advice, and eventually all those bands, hopefully, they will be part of this podcast too. But everybody seems to be very like involved with each other, and I think you guys bring that brotherly in your shows. There's not like not everybody is less than you. It's like you bring them to stage and let them sing and let them do that, and that's something that like I really admire about All Opposed. I think
I appreciate that too, man. That means a lot. You know what I mean? And I think that was kind of the goal too, is to have people involved.
Yeah.
Because I think we've all most of us are not natives here, and a lot of our respective hometowns, you don't see really a whole lot of that brotherhood, that kind of camaraderie. It's just not there. Yeah. There's a few bands I knew growing up that were like, we're up here and you fucking peasants are down here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I've never been with that, and that took a lot when I was like 13, 14 years old going to shows. It's like, yeah, that's
I think we all been there when we see those bands and be like, I like you, but I don't like you no more.
Sure.
There's a lot of bands that you'll go see, and the album is amazing because it's been through so many levels of processing, and they can play the same riff a million times and get it perfect. I think the difference is, I think when we play, you're coming to see a show. Yes, you love the music and that's great, but it's a performance. Like if you just want to listen to the songs, put on Spotify.
Exactly. If somebody's paying money to come see your ass, you better damn well put on a show. You better make it worth their while they're there. That's always been my philosophy.
And for me personally, like what I always thought it was like when I was 15 and I started going to see punk shows. My first show was Dropkick Murphys at Emos and everything. And when I was out there, I had long hair. I was like the one kid who wasn't a skinhead in 1998 at this show. And they scream out like, "Hey, you with the long hair, get up here. We're going to do Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. We want you to sing along." And then like the whole crowd came up there with us. And like I'm a 15-year-old kid and everything, and Dropkick Murphys has invited me up on stage to sing an AC/DC song. It's like this was like one of the highlights of my life, and all I could think from that moment on is like I'm a punk rocker from now on, from this day forward. This is the kind of person I want to be. Like I want to be that person that has no fear of the crowd in front of them, that wants to make them as much a part of the show as we are a part of it. You know. Like, and I think that's what we've always tried to do. Like we always say, like, if one of us is low energy, hey, man, we got to fucking come out a little heavier next time, you know? Like, I understand we all have good days and bad days, but, like, man, we're all about throwing it out there and leaving the blood in the guts on the stage. Like, that's what's a lot more fun that way. Yeah.
Unless when you're like, Nick, can you slow it down? Need you more in the pocket.
Yeah. That's just because I can't keep up. I'm sorry. I get stoned sometimes and it doesn't happen.
That's awesome. So what... You said that you were writing songs for a new album. So what's in the future for All Opposed?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can all agree on this. From what I say, is just same as every other year that we try to do. Mm-hmm. Write, play, record, hopefully tour.
Yeah, we got a couple runs coming up.
Runs coming up. Yeah, very true.
We're gonna do a 3-day Texas run here at the end of the month,
mm-hmm.
And then we've also got the Midwest thing. We're doing Hans Gruber and the Diehards. We're kicking off with them, and we're
going to Springfield, Missouri on May 29th, and then Kansas City, which that's a bitch and a half to book, on May 30th, and then Oklahoma City. Oh, wow. On May 31st, and Archaic 3 is doing, I think, one or two of those shows. I think they're doing the two Missouri shows, and then we're doing Kansas City and Oklahoma City with Hans Gruber.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
We're not doing Kirby's this time around.
Well, I mean, if we don't get that OKC show, we might have to.
KC, which is a quick story. Might have to tell the group. So we went out a few years back with our friends. I'm just trying to think. It was the Shitty just Shitty. I know we played with RAF and a couple other bands, but we had booked Kansas City, and they canceled on us the day before we're supposed to be there. Oh. So of course, we ask everybody. We're like, shit, we don't want to, because then we were going to have to drive, and we were going to end up. It was going to be forever. So we just kind of put out the feelers, and it was great. I mean, we got a lot of responses. We ended up getting booked at this place called Kirby's.
In Wichita, Kansas.
In Wichita, Kansas.
Ooh, Wichita.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we roll up there, and the place is about the size of this living room. And we roll in. This is our last day of tour, and we're all just kind of grungy and like, oh, really? This is what we're doing.
I hadn't showered in like a week and a half. It was horrible.
Don't even talk about the shoes. But anyway, long story short, we got there, and it was awesome. These kids, like for the first note we played, we were shirtless and slamming and having a great time.
Pantsless too.
Pantsless too. Pantsless.
That's
We
awesome.
all got pantsless. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm actually really excited to see what you guys come up probably here in the future. I mean, definitely, by listening to the new Clear Life, I mean, like, you can tell the band is maturing. You can tell the songs are coming out, and you can tell definitely they're like,
It's Ripper.
yeah. I mean, you can tell that definitely
appreciate
it's,
that.
it's getting better and better and better, bro. So cool. So
Record all of it. Super fun.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. Appreciate that.
This last
Thanks, man.
this last one.
Thanks for having us on.
no problem, no problem.
I want to be in this band.
You guys
You want
sound
to sing,
cool.
dude? You want to sing a show? I'll happily sit out.
Oh, he'll happily sit on the side of the stage
Yeah.
and sing every
That's
song.
awesome.
All right. Okay, we're back. So normally I would do a rapid fire. I would give you guys 5 questions. And this time I decided I wanted to go a little different, and instead I'd take that time to actually do the rig rundown. So I really want to hear about like the type of guitar you have, or bass, or drums. You know what I mean, that kind of thing. And just give us a little bit of behind the scenes insight into your equipment.
I'm gonna let y'all do that.
Whoever wants to go.
What you play?
Sure. Well, as you can see, this is my kick drum, but I don't use it as a kick drum because I converted my floor tom into a kick drum. Because with Make Out Fight, it's just us two, and it works with the sound. But also at the time, I had a 1998 Honda Prelude, and let me tell you, carrying drums around that, nope, it's not what it was made for. But it's kind of cool. So I just converted my kick tom. Like I said, floor tom into a kick drum. And it's basically a Frankenstein set. I think the rack toms are Tama. The snare is a pork pie. The cymbals, I think, are all Sabian. But a lot of the stuff is just like, Craigslist or Guitar Center. But the throne is actually from this clinic that I used to work for. They were thrown out. It's an exam stool that the doctor uses.
No wonder that looked fucking familiar, dude.
So I just took the wheels off because it's great. Like, it just spins to adjust, so you don't have to like sit there and mess with anything. That's awesome. But since I play in my underpants a lot now,
That's awesome.
And he does.
Yeah,
I get
see
really
that.
sweaty and just slide around. So I think I need to find a way to like
Upholstery that.
hygienically.
Slide around.
Yeah, dude.
You can put a
He gets
seatbelt
a
on.
not
I
fun
remember
upholstery
the show
on
on Thursday to wipe it down.
It's the price I pay for rock and roll. Anyway,
Hey, you know what? I got some
fearless,
skateboard grip
it's
tape at the
fearless.
house, so you can just put whatever you need to on it.
It's cool, man. Like, 'cause, I mean, it's not normally that you see a floor tom to the kick drum, but then, I mean, you can tell the difference, but not. It's like a unique sound. It's not real like, oh yeah, no, that sounds like crap. No,
I didn't
it
think
sounds
it-
good.
Thank you. I didn't think it was going to work with all opposed, but it surprisingly does. And honestly, I think when it's actually a big drawback is like if we play places where they don't mic up the drums at
Gotcha,
all,
yeah.
that you can't really hear it. But I think at Kick Butt, like Ernie does a great job
Yeah, oh,
of
yeah.
just the sound in general. So he really makes it sound like I can't tell when I watch our videos. I'm like, I would never know that it's not an actual kick drum.
It's actually kick drum.
And like you said, it's it's a cool conversation thing where people are like, oh man, is that a floor tom? I'm like, yeah, dude. Like,
I
Your
actually had
Home
the
Depot
pleasure.
brackets, like holding
Yeah.
the kick pedal on. Yeah.
man,
I actually had the pleasure of playing it on the Really Red recording, not the one that he did. Yeah, that's right. I used his drums for Jesus Christ Superfly. Surprisingly, it worked. That sound worked for that band as well, who is known to be
Cool.
super loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we recorded our song and so on and so forth. And I have the recording, in the car now. And when you hear it on a car stereo, you can hear the actual power
Yeah.
that this drum possesses. And I think it was the same setup too. If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
I just used my cymbals, which is Zildjian and Sabian hi-hats, I believe it is.
So that's very cool.
So yeah,
man.
it's a damn good setup too.
It works great, and when people see it, I mean, you can definitely tell the difference. It's like, oh yeah, that's not conventional, and I like it. That's pretty cool.
I got the cymbals off of Craigslist, and like I met the guy, some gas station, and he wanted like 200 for both of them. And I looked at I looked them up on Guitar Center, and they had like used ones for like 60 each, and I'm like, I'm just gonna ask this guy if he'll take 120. And so I'm like, would you take 120 for them? Because on Guitar Center, they're like, I can get these for both for 120. Well, I don't know. I'm like, you can say no, dude. I'm just saying, like, would you take 120? He's like, no. I'm like, all right, then never mind. He's like, well, okay, fine. I'm like, you don't have to take it. I'm like, you don't have to take it. Like, I was like, dude, you can say no to me. That's fine. Like, go. If you think you can get better than that, please, by all means. I'm not going to, like, no, just whatever. Like, okay. I wasn't trying to be a dick. Like,
I will take your filthy money.
He's gonna remember.
Which is
forever
why
as a
when
low
I
ball.
sell
That's
things
fine.
on Craigslist, I'm like, this is price is firm. And if people like email me, like, what about this? I don't even rate right back. I'm
There you
like,
go.
this is a deal.
Fucking musicians.
Leave me alone.
dude.
No. Cool. So what about the bass?
I played either a 2017 or 2018. I think 2018 Jazz Fender Aerodyne. It's a Japanese J bass with P pickups in it, and not nearly as exciting as Nick's whole thing. But when I went to buy it, same thing. I got it off Craigslist because I've been looking for one. They're relatively hard to find, and they go for about $1,200 or $1,300 new. This one was like 3 months old. It still had the plastic on it. This guy went out and bought a $1,200 bass and a $500 amp and played it for about 2 weeks. So pretty much deal of the century. I got it for $600.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's good.
Wow.
You didn't have to haggle.
I didn't because I was just like, you paid this and I will pay you this. And he went, okay. Do you want the amp too? I'm like, no, yeah, I got that covered.
Do you just play straight into the amp, or do you have?
Well, I'll let
effects pedals?
Splat here answer
So,
that one.
He plays into
I
a.
used to play a Fender Rumble 200.
Yeah, I hate that fucking thing. Yeah. So,
And the mic on that one. Is that okay?
but yeah, he plays through an Ampeg BA215. It's a cool little amp. I picked that up off of Michelle from Sword of Scoundrels. And the only thing you use on with that is the scrambler, which is like the gain circuit in it. It's a cool little amp. It's got a lot of balls, a lot of low end and everything. It's like what I would want if I could give him a flip top. That would be ideal, But like the 215 is all I could afford, so I did that. And I had originally bought that for my girlfriend Susie whenever we were still doing DGF. But now it's basically just become the all opposed kind of road amp.
The all opposed amp.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then what I play through is I play a Les Paul double cut, a 2001. It's got P90s in it. I have a Vox AC100 CPH is my head. Played through a matching Vox 412 cabinet. My pedals. What do I use? Goddamn, I use
Everything.
they're not. They looks like I'm using a lot more than I actually am. I use a GE7, a Boss equalizer, is my always on thing. It just gives me a little bit more brightness with everything that I'm doing. And then I use a Big Muff, a Russian Muff reissue, with a OD808 from Maxon, the overdrive tube screamer. Basically, I'll stomp those both at the same time for certain solos and things like that for a boost as well.
Yeah,
and it gives me a lot more high end, a little bit more screamy, but that's just for accents and everything. Early on, I used delay back in the day and some reverb and shit like that. But yeah, there's no need for that in this band. In this incarnation of the band, where it's at, just overdrive and fuzz and you're set. That's it. That's all you need. So yeah.
And does anybody know Marshalls?
Marshall plays typically a Les Paul or a Fender Stratocaster, and then he's playing through a Plexi Marshall head, and then I think he's using a Zvox Distortron as his distortion. But he's got a couple other pedals, but I'm not sure what they all are. Maybe a Gunslinger too. But yeah, I think it's a DoD. Yeah.
When I listen to them talk, all I hear is words.
Words.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
No, it's like the Peanuts teacher. I'm just
I like gear, man. It's a good way for me to waste
No,
my money
this
instead of
is-
doing blow all the
I
time.
just listen to it and I just hear the ocean.
no, it's good. I mean, it's nice technical to know what is it that you know what you're playing through.
Absolutely.
So somebody's gonna hear it and be like,
Yeah,
nah, that
people.
sounds
If
good.
we put in the underliner notes, all opposed talks gear.
Yeah.
You're gonna get like
Yeah. My dream amp would have actually been. I'm debating. I'm saving up money for an AC30 and to play through that just for my road amp and as a combo. But I keep seeing cool little guitars that I'm liking. It's like, oh shit, is that AC30 gonna wait? Is it gonna be a guitar? What's it gonna be? Because
It'll still be there.
that money is burning a hole in my pocket.
That's funny.
There's been like 3 guitars in the group chat. Like, I think I'm gonna get this.
Oh yeah, no.
It's every other
Every
day,
single
too.
week, there's a new Craigslist ad or a new Reverb ad or something like. I'm getting this, or I got this, or like, hey, I got this new fucking rainbow machine. Like, you're not bringing a fucking rainbow machine in here. Plain and fucking simple. But it's so pretty. It's pink. No, fuck you. You're not bringing a rainbow machine.
That's awesome.
But at least you know when people ask. Like, I feel like an idiot when people are like, oh, so what is that? I'm like, that's stuff I found on the internet, dude. I don't know. I don't know what it's called. It just works. Play it.
That's awesome, guys. Well, anyways, how can anybody get a hold of All Oppose? Or I guess not only that, but how can they listen to you?
Carrier pigeon. How to get a hold? No,
I was going to go with the telex, but either
Morse
way.
code. No, you can hit us up on
Smoke signals,
Facebook.
even, yeah.
That's where we are most responsive at. I know you got an email address or something like that. I don't think anybody uses that. Facebook is where we do all of our stuff.
Yeah.
You can find all of our music on
Spotify.
Tell them where we're at on Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. All
All
Opposed
Opposed
ATX. Yeah, that's us. I think we have a website in the works. We've had one up and then one down. I think another one's up in the works right now.
You have a Bandcamp too.
We do have a Bandcamp. We have we're on Spotify, Apple, Deezer, Pandora. Any of that good shit.
Instagram.
Yeah. Everything. We're on Instagram. Instagram is All Opposed ATX Punk. I think Punk.
Just to make it even longer.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Awesome. All right. Well, right here after the show, we're going to be listening to an acoustic version of a song from All Opposed. Which song are we going to be listening to?
Oh, I think we might do 2. We were talking about maybe Gun to My Head and Johnny Can't Skate. So
Excellent.
Two
Can't wait.
of the older songs.
yeah.
Awesome. Can't wait. All right. So anyways, so thank you everybody for listening to Revive the Scene with Ian J. My name is Ernesto.
Present.
We want to thank you all for listening to the
Present.
show, and don't forget to share us all, and thank you all for your support. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are All Opposed, and thank you for tuning in to Revive the Scene with Ian J. And without further ado, here we go.
What's the song called, Al?
This is called Johnny Can't Skate. Hanging out in Cedar Park, always jamming his guitar. He's got no son and he's got no daughter. He's always watching Harry Potter when he climbs up on a board. Oh my goodness, oh my lord. Starts to ollie, starts to fakie. Balance just a little shaky. Johnny can't skate, Johnny can't fight. What the hell's Johnny gonna do tonight? Johnny can't skate, Johnny can't fight. What the hell's Johnny gonna do tonight? Johnny can't fucking skate. Going out to every show, friendliest fucking face you know. You know he's gonna be a friend. You know he'll be there to the end. When it's time to throw it down, he ain't gonna be around. He ain't too good at confrontation, but you know he's better at masturbation. Johnny can't skate, Johnny can't fight. What the hell's Johnny gonna do tonight? Johnny can't skate, Johnny can't fight. What the hell's Johnny gonna do tonight? Johnny can't fucking skate. Splat! Hey, you're in my way. You cannot skate. Just fade away. 'Cause this is fade away. With broken bones and blooded waves. Johnny can't skate. Johnny can't fight. What the hell is Johnny gonna do tonight? Johnny can't skate. Johnny can't fight. What the hell is Johnny gonna do tonight? He can't fucking skate. She can't fucking skate. Y'all can't fucking skate. Johnny can't fucking skate.
comes out from the battles that we fought. Loneliness becomes my friend. Suicide decay, winding down the paths we've chosen, never sets us free. Life and love, it doesn't seem to mean a thing when you're sick and all alone. Desperation seems to reach an all-time high when you've lost all you know. I'm gonna pull back the hammer. Gun to my head, I'm gonna squeeze the trigger. Gun to my head, you're gonna save me fall. Gun to my head, I'm gonna end it all. Gun to my head. Cold blue steel is all you need to ease the pain when the bullet hits your brain. Slicing wrists, it doesn't matter anymore when the gun knocks on your door. That's black. Life and love, it doesn't seem to mean a thing when you're sick and all alone. Desperation seems to reach an all-time high when you've lost all you know. Life and love, it doesn't seem to mean a thing when you're sick and all alone. Desperation seems to reach an all-time high when you've lost all you know.